There's a media revolution happening right under our noses. It's not coming from a newsroom, a TV studio, or a film set. It's happening on YouTube, Spotify, and even TikTok. And at the heart of this transformation is a format that's grown from niche hobby to global powerhouse, the video podcast. Once dismissed as long-form background noise for the overly opinionated, video podcasts are now reshaping how we consume information, entertainment, and even news, posing a direct challenge to traditional media institutions. What began as audio-first content for loyal niche audiences has now evolved into fully produced visual experiences. Video podcasts, unlike their audio predecessors, bring an entirely new dimension of engagement. Viewers can now connect with hosts face to face, read their expressions, analyze their body language, and feel like they're part of the conversation. It's this visual intimacy that's turned podcast hosts into celebrities and loyal listeners into passionate fans. What's remarkable is the way video podcasts democratize media. Traditional broadcasting required massive capital, studios, cameras, licensing, corporate backing. But with just a camera, a mic, and a compelling voice, today's podcasters can reach millions. Platforms like YouTube and Spotify have leveled the playing field, allowing independent creators to compete head-on with legacy media giants. Take a look at what Joe Rogan did. His podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, was once a modest setup in a spare room. Now, it's a cultural juggernaut with global reach and a 9-figure licensing deal. And it's not just Rogan. Creators like Lex Fridman, Emma Chamberlain, Logan Paul, and Andrew Huberman have all used the video podcast format to build influential, media-scale platforms without ever needing a traditional network. But why are audiences flocking to these formats? One key reason: trust. Mainstream media, in the eyes of many, has lost credibility due to perceived bias, overproduction, or sensationalism. In contrast, podcasts often feel raw, unscripted, and authentic. There's room for nuance. Episodes aren't chopped into 30-second segments or limited by ad breaks. Conversations breathe, ideas unfold, and listeners feel like they're getting the unfiltered truth, or at least a genuine point of view. That's something traditional media struggles to replicate. On television, you get a 5-minute interview sandwiched between ads and headlines. On a video podcast, you get a 2-hour deep dive where someone can fully express their story, challenge assumptions, and engage in meaningful dialogue. In a world craving depth and authenticity, long form is making a comeback, and video podcasts are leading the charge. Another reason for this shift is flexibility. Video podcasts don't live by broadcast schedules. They're on demand, pause and resume, and available across devices. Whether you're watching on your laptop during lunch or listening in your car on a commute, the format molds itself around your lifestyle. It's convenience without compromise. Then there's the algorithmic advantage. YouTube's recommendation engine has become one of the most powerful tools for podcast discovery. Unlike traditional radio or television, where access depends on gatekeepers, video podcasts rise through audience engagement. If people like your content, the algorithm helps you grow. No studio approval needed, just quality, consistency, and connection. It's also worth noting the monetization landscape. In traditional media, ad dollars go through networks, sales teams, and corporate sponsors. In the world of video podcasts, creators monetize through brand deals, Patreon memberships, super chats, affiliate marketing, and direct ads. The result? More creator autonomy and closer relationships with the audience. When fans directly support content through tips or subscriptions, creators no longer need to cater to advertisers. They cater to their community. This financial independence is a big reason why video podcasting has become a career path rather than just a creative outlet. For young media professionals, launching a podcast isn't just a side hustle, it's often the main business. And for brands, appearing on or sponsoring a podcast often yields better engagement than a traditional ad slot. Why? Because podcast audiences trust the host. And when trust meets influence, the results are powerful. But video podcasting isn't just transforming entertainment. It's encroaching on news, education, and even politics. Think about how many people now get their worldview from YouTube commentators, political podcasts, and expert discussions. Institutions that once controlled the public narrative are now sharing space with independent thinkers, educators, and analysts who built their platforms from scratch. That's both empowering and controversial. Because while podcasting opens the door to diverse voices, it also invites misinformation, echo chambers, and unchecked opinions. Unlike TV news, which often has editorial boards and compliance departments, podcasts operate without formal oversight. That means creators carry a serious responsibility to inform, not mislead, to engage, not exploit. And audiences must become more media literate, learning to differentiate between thought-provoking dialogue and persuasive misinformation. Still, the benefits of this decentralization far outweigh the risks. We now live in an era where a 20 Something in their bedroom can challenge a major news outlet's perspective and be heard. That's media disruption at its finest, and it's forcing traditional networks to adapt. CNBC and BBC now invest in podcast divisions. Influencers are being invited to political panels. The lines between legacy and new media are blurring faster than ever. Let's also talk about format experimentation. Video podcasts aren't locked into a single style. Some are traditional talk shows with two mics and a desk. Others use dynamic editing, sound design, visuals, and live audiences. Hybrid formats like interview, documentary mashups, or podcast, React content are gaining traction. This format fluidity gives creators immense room for innovation, something traditional broadcasting often limits due to time slots and ratings pressure. Technology is also driving the shift. With affordable DSLR cameras, USB mics, and cloud-based editing tools, the barrier to entry is lower than ever. StreamYard, Riverside, and Descript allow multi-guest recordings, automated transcripts, and real-time mixing. What used to require a studio team can now be done solo from a home office. That accessibility is why video podcasting is exploding globally, not just in the US, but in India, Africa, Eastern Europe, and beyond. Cultural diversity is another superpower of this evolution. Traditional media often marginalizes voices that don't fit mainstream narratives. But in podcasting, niche is an advantage. Whether it's a podcast about African futurism, disabled creators sharing life hacks, or indigenous languages being preserved through storytelling, video podcasting gives space to stories that were once invisible. We're also seeing video podcasts go beyond YouTube. Spotify has rolled out native video support. TikTok now promotes longer-form episodes in vertical formats. Even Netflix is experimenting with talk-style shows that mimic podcast pacing. The format is being hybridized, repackaged, and distributed in ways we hadn't imagined 5 years ago. This shows that podcasting is no longer a genre. It's becoming a foundational media format. Live video podcasts are also gaining ground. Platforms like Twitch and YouTube Live enable real-time interaction, turning listeners into participants. This adds a new layer of community accountability and engagement. Imagine asking your favorite expert a question during a live session or debating a controversial topic with the host directly in chat. It's like radio call-ins reimagined for the digital age. Despite all this growth, traditional media isn't dead. It's just evolving. Many of its core strengths, fact-checking, production quality, editorial integrity, still matter. But to remain relevant, traditional outlets must embrace podcast culture like deeper storytelling platform, native content, and creator-first thinking. The future isn't one where podcasts replace TV, it's one where they coexist, cross-pollinate, and push each other to be better. To wrap this up, the evolution of video podcasts represents more than just a format shift. It signals a broader cultural realignment, one where control over information, storytelling, and influence is shifting from institutions to individuals. It's about human connection in a digital age. It's about long-form thought in a short-form world. And it's a challenge to all of us to create with purpose, to listen with intention, and to support voices that might otherwise go unheard. So whether you're a creator planning your first show, a brand exploring podcast sponsorships, or a viewer deciding where to get your information, remember this: the next era of media won't be defined by studios. It will be defined by people. And many of them are already podcasting, with cameras on and ideas ready to be heard.